Hey, good morning and welcome back. I had to take a little bit of a break. Rolling into day 40, I pushed myself a little hard, started getting into the 3D stuff, and I'm going to be honest, it did not feel awesome trying to get it up and rolling. So here we are, a number of days passed, and I'm just going to continue where I was. So first of all, take care of yourself as you're trying to do things. Make sure you don't only take care of yourself, but you take care of others around you. That's a little PSA. Anyways, coming into day 40, as I mentioned on day 39, I wanted to do something a little different. So I have actually spent quite a bit of time doing research and such, just trying to get my head wrapped around some things that I wanted to do within the 3D space. A few of those things that I'm not going to be doing is trying to make my own 3D models because I could tell how fun it was with 2D, which it was fun to get some of those things out there. But there's a lot more variables that I'm not interested in and figuring out at this time. So I will be looking at some 3D packs at some point whenever I'm ready. Here we are. Anyways, so what I've decided to do is I wanted to focus on creating a 3D experience where I can have some sort of like obstacle course. So as my daughter says, this is basically everything that Roblox does. So you want to do some parkour in Roblox, there you go. But for me, I want to be able to get some of those concepts down. So what I really wanted to focus on getting into this was how can I create myself an experience that is a little bit unique and is going to allow me to just do some things that are really uncomfortable. So, what started getting me down the path of this really sucks is when I was trying to create some sort of swinging motion, like creating ropes. And I'll say, don't ever start with 3D making ropes because it is just an absolute mess. And what I have landed on is a grappling hook type system. And I have done a number of the things to get my character moving, to get my character looking in the direction I want to go, and also starting to get into raycasting to actually find the items. So the goal that I am creating on this now is, again, an obstacle course. So as a player, you want to be able to get from point A to the end, and you do not want to fall down. There will be checkpoints, there will just be a number of things, and this isn't going to be a terribly difficult thing. This is really just playing around in the 3D space. So eventually it is going to be repetitive, and you're going to see me shift away from it again. Because my goal isn't to continue doing the same thing over and over and build up that muscle memory at this time. I want to continue stacking on so I can reference things in the past. Because as we move forward with these things, I'll be doing them a few times and I will get muscle memory over time. So I'm not super concerned with having to ingrain some of these things in my mind at this point. I also have learned that a lot of the stuff that I have done with the 2D games at this time is very transferable into 3D. The difference is now you have a Z to worry about, so it's not only X and Y. So there's a bit of change. This is the stuff that I've been trying to get through my mind. Now, let's get into the game. I'm taking us back. I'm moving us forward. I'm taking us back. So, created a 3D environment where now I have a player who can run around and jump. I also added sprinting because I'm going down this rabbit hole. I need to add some things that make me feel like I'm moving forward. I did have some conversations with Google and ChatGPT and ended up going over to Gemini because Gemini is really freaking smart with this stuff, as I have learned, and started actually looking into the Raycasting and a bit of debugging to be able to get some additional stuff on there. It's provided me with a lot of information and how to actually do the debugging super simple. So I have used a bit of the logic that I've learned from that, and I will be doing some refactoring moving in the future to pull some of that stuff out as I want to build up me typing it up instead of just copy and paste, because I'm trying to figure out the whys of why we're doing stuff right now as I'm demoing this off to you. So let's go ahead and get into it. So let me go ahead and play the game real quick. I do have to move it because it goes in the front of the screen right away. All right. So one thing to point out is I did get myself a nice little pause menu in here. I decided to design that myself, and I'm pretty proud of that. That's about as much creativity as you're going to get out of me. Anyways, so in order to get a well-working 3D environment that's first person, and you have to lock the mouse. That's a no-brainer. As you see on there, I also put a crosshair. So using a center container and putting the letter O in the middle is how I decided to do my crosshair. I was looking around. I'm like, do I throw an image? No, I just threw a label in the middle with the letter O. And it works really well. Anyways, I did the pause menu. And when you do the pause menu, one thing that I decided to do was I created a script that manages my pause menu. And when I manage the pause menu, I change the crosshair locking every time that escape key is pressed. So it's more of a toggle on and off. So I'm toggling the pause menu on, which pauses everything, and it also removes the mouse. Now, I will say that is one of the most annoying things with this game development at first. When I used some of the early code that I was able to get with locking the mouse, is I would have to Command Tab or Alt Tab, whatever you're using, to get out and to be able to close the game. Otherwise, your mouse is stuck in there. So one of the first things that I would highly suggest if you're making a 3D game is to add a pause menu and make sure you unlock that mouse. It will absolutely save you the headache of having to just fight the screens. And I'll demo that just a little bit. So if I hit resume right now, I'm looking around. My mouse is locked. It doesn't matter how far to the right or how far to the left or up and down. It's in the game by design, of course. Yeah, so let's go ahead and walk through the game real quick. So right now, of course, walking, and I have a little bit of sprint in there. So I'm moving a little faster. And this is the debug that I was able to get from Gemini, which helped a ton. It's just being able to see the raycast and whenever something is hit. Now I'm going to go back real quick to here. I do have some debugs actually being getting sent out, and that was so I can see the information and how far the distance is. Because as I do the grappling hook and I set up these obstacles, I don't just want them to be able to shoot something on the other side and pull themselves to it. That defeats the entire purpose of the game. So now I can minimize the distance of that grappling hook and keep it a little bit more of a challenge. So let's go back to the game. Cursor's locked. The other thing that I did is when they fall down, they are put back into the original spot, and that's going to be effectively how the checkpoints work. So when they get below a certain distance, they will be seeing some sort of screen, which is going to be like a death screen. The camera, we would phase over to another camera, and then everything would reset to where the checkpoint is. So that's going to be a little bit of interaction, a little bit of feedback for the user that they should not be falling to their death. So the other pieces, so as part of the standard character movement stuff that you get, is we have a little bit of jumping. So I am using an interesting keyboard which has touch functionality, so it's clicking for me every once in a while. Let me turn that off real quick. And of course I can't turn it off. We're broken. That's cool. All right. Anyways, so what I have next in mind, just to kind of move forward with that a little bit, when a user clicks on something and they're within distance, and actually I'm going to show you when you're out of distance. So right there's about in distance. I want to have a line come out and the user actually move towards the object that they've grappled to. And as they move towards the object that they've grappled to, the line that's being cast out, it's just a simple line at this point, is going to start disappearing at the far end. Because eventually I'd like to add some sort of texture to it that makes it look like some sort of rope or something has been shot out. And then as a user, you will no longer be able to use WASD to move around. You'll be able to move your head. And then when you are ready, you can hit a button. And I want momentum to continue moving them, but they are no longer able to move, or sorry, the grapple is no longer moving them. So wherever they were, wherever they grappled to, that's where they're heading. So effectively, it's like they're jumping. So we're now into a jumping phase where we can, I do have it moving in midair again, the basic functionality that you get out of the box. So grapple, move up there, go to the next obstacle. Hoping to build this up a bit more, looking to build something a little fun. The other things I was talking to my daughter about as part of the HUD, I'd like to extend this to not only have the grappling, I'd like to put a weapon on there and have enemies and have some sort of something other than just falling that's going to prevent you from moving forward. So it'd be really cool to be able to roll through this, have a tutorial level where the user can see where they actually get the items, so they're building up on their different functions and the different things that they're planning on seeing. And then as they get into the games, they start, or sorry, into the different levels, or maybe just different areas of this one level, we'll see. It's just going to continue stacking. And eventually you're going to get to the end, and then that's it. So I have a lot of hopes for this. I am really anticipating that this is going to be something that's going to keep my attention. Again, we are moving forward on this, day 40. Got 20 more days that I'm going to be putting on this, 60 days of learning. So that's going to put us into March, which is okay. And I'm totally looking forward to it. So anyways, I may put out less videos than I was doing before. What I may do is a couple or a few days worth of progress, probably just a LinkedIn post to go with it. And I might just do a weekly post. So maybe on Saturdays is where I'll be able to put something out. Maybe in between two, I might just end up recording some things as I'm doing development, because why not? And then I can make some little shorts to put out there. So looking to find this a lot more exciting for myself. And as I'm going forward, and not burn me out so much. Again, I'm not a content creator. I'm having fun. I am having a blast, and I want to continue feeling that way. So if you've run into this before, please give me a holler. Please let me know how you were able to overcome it a bit. I am also moving into C# instead of using GD script. So from the standpoint of the logic I'll be able to actually use through this, it is something that I've used for a number of years. GD script and Python, which GD script feels like is not a language that I'm super familiar with, or at least I wasn't before I started this process. So definitely a lot of opportunity, a lot of things happening in here, and we're going to get going from there. So anyways, I hope you have a wonderful weekend, and we'll chat soon. Thank you very much.